Gracious God, as we come before you now to reflect on your word, open our hearts to be inspired in thought, word and deed. Amen. If you had said to someone on April the 1st last year that in 2020 a pandemic would be spreading across the world, that thousands would die, that people would be forced to stay in their homes devoid of physical contact, and that churches would be shut for both public and private prayer, you might quite rightly think that it's an April Fool's. Surely something such as this can never happen. Well, it's no joke, and in the present it is very much our reality. Usually in the media on the 1st of April, you will find one or two stories that just have to be a hoax, that is clearly made up. Whether it's from the famous spaghetti growing trees, or King's College Choir using helium to keep choristers' voices in fine form, they are just too crazy to believe. Whether, with what is a rather surreal time in the here and now, these similar fanciful stories are reported or believed, remains to be seen. Perhaps nothing should surprise us any more. Yet our Bible readings today are good examples of not April Fools, but rather extreme actions or teachings that just seem too impossible to believe. In our Old Testament reading from the book of the prophet Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar throws Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego into the fire for worshipping another god. They just won't conform and deny their belief in the God of the Jews. They will not back down. They hold fast in their knowledge that the Lord will save them. So King Nebuchadnezzar is so amazed when he sees them walking around the fire, unbound and unharmed, that he can only believe that what they were saying is actually true. Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. The Lord saves, and this is no April Fool's. In our Gospel reading, Jesus doesn't quite get the same positive reaction to his teaching. Perhaps because it is too extreme or uncomfortable to hear. But it is the truth nonetheless. For while Jesus is offering what everybody in Israel was longing for, freedom, it is at an even deeper level than what they had imagined. The truth will set you free. The people listening are hoping for a freedom from Rome, and they get all defensive when Jesus suggests that they are suffering a worse slavery than when the Jews were in Egypt, or even under the semi-slavery that they find themselves under the rule of Rome. It is the slavery we know as sin. The sin that pulls us away from God, our neighbour, and our true humanity. The sin in which we avert our gaze from the needy, the lonely, the isolated, and the stranger. Now this is too much to bear for what the Jews are hearing. They cannot believe in Jesus. They assume that being the children of Abraham means that they're automatically children of God. They are wrong. The disease of sin infects us all, whoever we are, whatever we believe, wherever we belong. They would rather think that what Jesus is professing is all fiction than seriously look deep into the darkest parts of their soul and realise that what Jesus is saying is no April Fool's. If only they would hear and receive Jesus' word, they could acknowledge themselves to be set free from the slavery of sin that they didn't know or want to acknowledge they were even in. Can you open your heart to believe in the transformative, liberative power of God? A God not just of miraculous actions, but also the Lord of all humanity. Can you open your heart to turn away from your sin and be faithful to Christ? The truth will set you free. This is no April Fool's. Amen.